Hello everyone, welcome to Sharmit. In this session, we are going to talk about another very important use case of GitHub Copilot, where I will show you how we can utilize GitHub Copilot to explain the piece of code, or you can say, let's say if there is any particular method or particular function in your program, right? And you want to prepare one analysis report for it. So in that case, how we can utilize GitHub Copilot, that I'll be showing you. Okay, so we will proceed in the same way. Like firstly, I'll explain you the requirement. According to the requirement, we will discuss the prompt. I'll walk you through the entire prompt that I have already prepared, and then as per the prompt, we will generate the output with the help of GitHub Copilot. Okay, and then we will see what output we will get with that prompt. So this is the overall agenda for today's session. But before we proceed further with it, I would like to recommend you to please go and check out the previously released session first, because they all are in proper sequence and sync. So if you follow it sequentially, then it would be much more easier for you to understand the ongoing topic, because for time being, we are just mainly focusing on how to use GitHub Copilot to explain a particular method from a program. Okay. And for that, you can also refer the Sharmit digital course book, which is freely available in the description box. There you will find more than 3,600 plus sessions available in both Hindi as well as English language. So without any language barrier, you can easily consume the content. And if there is any query or questions regarding that content, you can simply reach out to me through comment section, so that I would be so that I can help you there. Okay. Alright, so let's get started. So here you can see I have already created one program with the name electricitybill.calculator.py, right? Now we will use the same program for demo purpose, and from this program we don't want to go through the entire logic. Okay, I just want to focus on this particular method of this function of this program, that is calculate electricity bill. Okay, so let's say if there is any developer who wants to explain or who wants to understand this particular method only, he is not interested into the other logic which is written here. He is just interested into this part. So in that situation, how we can write the prompt and what would be the output when GitHub Copilot walk you through this entire method. Okay, so let's see that. So for that, what we will do, we will simply expand. We will write here one prompt. I'll just paste my prompt. So let me reopen this thing. Okay, so yeah, I think now we are good. So I'll just paste my prompt over here, and now I'll walk you through this prompt to explain you like how you can write the prompt in a very detailed and in a very professional manner. Okay, so for that, what I'll do, I'll just simply let me check if I can scroll it up. Okay, no worries. I'll just repaste it here. Fine. Okay, so now what I'll do, I'll walk you through this from the starting. So firstly, what we are doing here, we are just assigning the role to the GitHub Copilot. So I clearly assign the role that you are a senior Python developer and technical educator with 20 years of experience in explaining complex code to beginner, junior developer and non-technical audiences. Okay, so firstly we assign the role. Second, I have a Python program named as electricitybill_calculate.py. Okay, so this is my program name, although it is selected here, you can see. So it shows enabled current file context. So what it will do, it will take the context from the current file, because my program name is GHC-03-electricity bill calculator, right? So it will automatically understand because it is already enabled, correct? So if it is enabled, it will automatically take the context from it. Then I simply ask the GitHub, your task is to read this function carefully. Which function? In this program there is a function called calculate electricity bill. Your task is to read this function carefully and explain what it does in a simple plain English, so that even a beginner can understand it completely. Do not explain the full file. Focus only on the function calculate electricity bill. So we clearly mentioned that we are not interested into the entire source code. We are just interested into this particular method. Okay, fine. After that, we simply mention rules to follow. Use plain English only. Avoid heavy technical jargon. Do not skip any line of function. Cover every single line. Explain logic in the same order as the code flows from top to bottom. Okay, so these are some important rules that we are specifying here. Third rule says explain logic. Okay, fourth rule says if there is any formula or a calculation, explain it with the actual numbers from the code. Okay, then we have fifth rule that says if there is a default parameter value, mention why it is useful. Okay, we have to clearly mention it, like why it is useful. Okay, next thing is do not modify, rewrite the function, only explain it as it is. So we don't want GitHub Copilot to modify something or change something. We just want to explain it as it is. Seventh rule says keep your language simple enough for first year programming student. Do not assume anything that is not written in the function. So these are some rules that I want GitHub Copilot follow for me. After that, we have some output requirement. So in output requirement, I clearly mention role of this function. So firstly, I need role of this function. Write 2 to 3 lines explaining the purpose of this function in a very plain English. Second, input it accepts. List each parameter, its data type, and what it represents in real world. So we have to explain it very clearly. Third thing is output it returns. Explain what the function returns and what each key or value means. Okay, and then we have fourth step by step, line by line explaining. Go through every line of function, write what that line is doing in simple words. If a formula is used, explain the formula with example numbers. Okay, so we also want to explain that formula. Then we have real world analogy. Give one real world analogy that matches exactly what this function does. The analogy should be relatable to everyday's life. Okay, fine. And last thing is regarding the important logic and special handling. Mention any special decision made in the code. Explain why slabs are used, why round method is used, why default value is given. Okay, so these all things we also want to show very clearly. And at the end, there are some output format. Use a clear section headings for each of the 6 points. Use bullet points inside each section. Keep the total explanation under 300 words. Do not write any code in the output. Only plain English explanation is needed. So now what I'll do, I'll just simply give this prompt enter, and then what it will do, it will go through my source code and only explain me the required method. Okay, not the entire source code. So let's press enter. But before that, I just want to warn you one thing. Doesn't matter which AI model you are using, it might hallucinate, it might produce something wrong. So always make sure that whatever output it will return, you have to review it, and if it is as per your requirement, then only you can keep it in your source. Okay, alright, so now I'll press enter here. So now you can see it shows it is evaluating the things, it is working on my tasks. So it is checking, going through my source code, and now it has started preparing the output. Okay, so we have limited time, so I'll not walk you through the entire output. What I'll do, I'll just simply show you like what kind of output it is basically returning. So let's see. So you can see it shows I have read the function and will now explain the calculate this in a simple language. Okay, first role of this function. This function calculate a monthly electricity bill from the unit used. Fine. It applies slab rates, add fixed meter rent, optionally gives a rural subsidy, then adds the text. So you can see in the logic, same thing is happening here, right? That means it is perfect. Finally, it returns the full bill breakdown, not just the one total number. Okay, so it gives the breakdown. Then it shows it accepts input, it accepts unit consume, integer, total electricity used. Okay, so you can see unit consumed, right? Total electricity used in 1 month. Then is rural, bool default false, tells whether 10% subsidy should be applied or not, which is also true, right? Then if I scroll it right, okay, then yeah, so default false is used because most calls can skip this value unless subsidy is needed. So only if subsidy is needed, then only we will apply it. And then you can see output is written, step-by-step explanation is given here. Okay, so you can see if unit is less than equal to 100, charge is unit into 3.50, else if. So it explains everything in a very simple term as per our prompt. Clear? So this is how you can utilize GitHub Copilot to prepare a proper documentation for one of the method that you want to for which you want to do the analysis. Okay, so yeah, that's all for today. See you in the next session with new topics. So thank you for watching Tech Sharmit.